Hey there, it's me again, back as I promised. And today we're going to talk about a letter that I got. It's about having depression and anxiety. So I'm going to jump into this letter. Dear Zakia, you've talked about having depression and anxiety on your Facebook page. Can you talk about how you've dealt with this and how your husband and family helps you and does not help you? What and how do you take care? What do you do and how do you take care of yourself? And how do you balance the act? Sincerely, learning how to balance the act. Um, well, this is a good one because I have had depression. And first, I'm going to tell you my diagnosis. I have PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Um, my PTSD comes from trauma in my youth and as an adult with violence. And I'll talk about that another day because I actually have another question that actually asks about that further down the line. I'll give you more on that background. But I have depression, anxiety, and PTSD. And I also suffer from fibromyalgia, and I have a genetic heart disorder called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. I know, right? I just butchered that up, and I've had it for like 17 years. And that's what this little beautiful, can you see it? That scar on my chest, that's my defibrillator pacemaker, which means it doesn't run all the time. It just activates when I am in trouble, like my heart rate goes significantly over 200 or it drops really low. So I've only been shocked once that I know of since I've had it. And that was like October 2 years ago. So, so I have a lot of reasons and a lot of things that contribute to my depression, anxiety, and PTSD. So how do I deal with it? I'm very honest. I have these things not by choice, but by chance and circumstances. That is just how it happened to me. I didn't ask for it. I didn't request it. I didn't do anything, even to my heart disorder. I didn't do anything to get any of these things. My heart disorder is totally genetic. My mom died from it at 47. And it's linked genetically in her family. If you're born with the gene, you can pass it to your children. If you're not born with the gene, it doesn't go to your children. However, my anxiety and depression was really bad. I would say between the ages of 17 to about 22, because I didn't know how to deal with it, because therapy was not working all the time. Because I didn't want to take any medications and things of that nature. But finally, I had to take a medication just to help level me out. Because I would just have these crazy thoughts. Like, I was scared of a gas station. I don't know why I was scared of going to a gas station. Even 15 years later, I still don't know why I was afraid to go inside of gas stations. Now, can't keep me out of them. First Tuesday, scratch off. But yeah, so I have no idea. I was afraid of dying, but I know why I was afraid of dying. I'm not like my other letter that I had. My mom died of a sudden cardiac arrest at age 47, and I had just saw her. And so that was like a fear, and then finding out I had her heart disorder. So I was terrified that I was going to die just like her. But I was able to overcome that with friends and people in therapy, and just realizing that if I was going to focus on that, then I was never going to succeed at anything else I wanted to do. So how I deal with my depression and anxiety is I call it out. I recognize when I am depressed and when I'm having anxiety. I breathe through it. I get my husband to sometimes just rub my back. Just something like his hand just rubbing on my back. It's just so wonderful. I mean, it helps me out in such a manner, in such a way. I had to come to grips that this did not make me broken. It didn't make me undesirable, and it didn't change who I was. It made me try to take care of myself more. It made me try to understand and see what triggered those things. So I had to be very aware of myself and really learn myself. It also has, in my later years, I'm 38 now, and it's starting to make me realize that I have to really focus on taking care of myself and not only surviving, but living. So right now I'm in a part of my life when I'm actually trying to learn how to live. My husband is very helpful. I'll tell him, you know what, I'm going through a spout of depression. My energy feels bad. I don't feel positive. I'm really beaten up on myself. And he'll just sit down and talk me through those things. Like, what does this look like? What is happening to make you feel this way? What do you, when these things are happening, what's going on around you? What triggered this? And a lot of times it's just those things that you have, your own personal insecurities or your own personal past, because our past is like one of the things that can hold us hostage, especially if we, hold on to it, because a lot of times we hold on to those things because we're so comfortable and they're ours. And so I've been learning how to let those things go. I've actually been doing energy work, which with this company here in Asheville called Emerge. And what they do is they work on your energy. And I know this sounds so out there, and some people might be like, nah, that sounds like voodoo, but it's not. You lay on this table, and I wouldn't call it a practitioner, but the therapist sits behind you, and they help with clearing out your brain. And so the first time I had it done, it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was like she was in my brain, and all of a sudden everything started opening up, like a file was coming out. Like all these things that I thought I had got rid of just started popping up, and then all of a sudden it was gone. It went to another thing, and it went to another thing. And then my brain didn't feel as heavy. And so now I'm very cognizant of my energy and who I allow in my energy. I'm starting to meditate more. Starting back burning sage, in my house, just to clear that energy out and to feel better about myself, and just make sure I am not allowing anyone to dump their negative things in my life. So that's one of the things, like how people have not helped. When people say stuff like, oh, you should just go work out, or you should get out and do something. Okay, yeah, I'll do that for 2 hours, but there's another 22 hours in that day that I have to face, or that I had to deal with. And so it's not just a 2-hour go work out and go hang out and eat with your friends. It's afterwards, or it's at 6 o'clock when I was supposed to go somewhere, and emotionally I just can't get myself to get her to go. And when I can't, I don't make excuses. I just say, you know what, I'm just not in a place where I can move. I gotta take care of myself. And that was hard to do, because I was torturing myself and making me go to these things. Now it feel even worse. So how I deal with my depression and anxiety is that I take time for it. Because if I don't, it will ruin me. I do things to help myself cope with it. I learn coping skills. I talk about it. And I'm not embarrassed by it. I mean, there's nothing embarrassed about your body trying to heal itself from trauma. There's nothing embarrassing about it. Our bodies are beautiful things. Our brain is just a wonderful organism. Organ. It's wonderful. And every day we're learning, and it's growing, and it's changing. And so we have to do all we can to take care of it. So I hope that gave you a little insight on what I do. The next question I have that I'll read another day, of course, is about relationships. Somebody wants to know about my husband and I relationship. So I hope you come back and we'll talk about that.